So in our early episodes, you can check out how Ceres and Kaya made the semi-finals. And so in the Super Sunday of the Smart Championships, Green Archers and Pasargad have made the semi-finals also. All 4 matches were 1-0. And so actually my first question...
And went into extra time.
Yeah, those 2 games, the Green Archers versus... they defeated Pachanga, right?
Pachanga did one.
And Pasargad beat General Trias, both in extra time. So commiserations on the loss, of course.
Okay.
But the first question is why do you think that all the quarterfinals have been so low scoring? 1-0 is very, very rare scoreline really in Philippine football, particularly in the UFL, and only one of those clubs wasn't from the UFL, or they played in the UFL Cup, for example. So what was the real difference? Why were they so low scoring this time around?
Maybe it's a case of all the teams are pretty much evenly matched, and then I think that most teams put a lot of value on defense. So there, I think those are the two factors.
Yeah, it's been really good to see the increased competitiveness of all the competitions, really, not just the UFL and the UFL Cup, but here with Ceres making it through. But now with the Green Archers are really starting to come out as a force. They made the semi-finals of the UFL Cup, and now Chiefy scores in his 2nd game running in the Smart Club Championships to give them the win. What happened in that game for you? What was the key moments, or what was the Loyola's, what was the Green Archers' real strengths in that game?
I think the Archers didn't do anything different during that game. They played to their strengths. They played the ball early into their flanks and to Chiefy up front. They have very fast players, so they always try to give those balls behind the defense of the opposing team. So they play that way. But I thought that Pachanga Diliman did a pretty good job in containing, or at least marking up their fast players up front. And I thought that during most of the game, most parts of the game, Pachanga Diliman actually controlled the tempo. But there was just this one moment of brilliance again from Chiefy. Actually, it was a combination of like perseverance and brilliance, because he stuck in there, got his 2nd chance and converted it.
And so for Pachanga, what was the feeling going into the game beforehand? How confident were you that you were in the game, that it would be competitive, and the chances that you had?
I think the team was very confident. We had a good preparation. We trained almost every day. We didn't have so many changes in our lineup, but one thing that we recognized that was lacking was we didn't have quality forward yet. Our forward now, Bidik, he has the technical skills, but he's not yet in tip-top shape. So there, I think that's one thing that really let us down.
And with this, we'll be discussing more about Pachanga later on and how they'll fare in the UFL League Top Division. But in the other quarter-final, Pasargad make it through against General Trias. Another close game, went to extra time again and 1-0. How much will Pasargad be a threat in this competition? They've obviously come on leaps and bounds themselves since being promoted as well. What's going to happen for them this time round?
I actually expected General Trias to beat Pasargad, because I thought they were the more organized team. I was able to watch them against Stallions, and they gave Stallions a really hard time. The problem with General Trias is they don't have quality forward who can score the goals for them. As opposed to Pasargad, I thought they weren't very organized. They were a very scrappy team, but they're a very athletic team. They have young players who are very fast, who are very athletic. And yeah, the one who scored the only goal, the winning goal for Pasargad was this young player, Maricina.
And how much of a threat do you think they'll be for the Green Archers?
I think they can pull off a surprise if they keep themselves organized at the back and contain the wingers and forwards of Green Archers. I think they have a good chance.
So Pasaga have done well themselves to make it through to the semi-finals. They'll be up against the Green Archers, but it seems like you still strongly favour the Green Archers as favourites for the game. And they've of course done well themselves. One thing I did want to ask you about was their league standing. How you think they'll do in the coming league? Because they can use this as a really good springboard for that. Of course,
Archers.
finishing 8th. The Archers, yeah. Finishing 8th last time round. They weren't so far above the relegation spot, really. And they only just beat out Army in one of the last games of the season. Of course, it was a thrashing that game, but they were the few points they needed to finish 8th. Of course, the teams themselves, they've not said that they'll win the league, of course, with the influx of money and hopefully a few more players even for them. But do you think they can challenge for that 5th spot? Because the top 4 will always be competitive, and so it's really for everyone else below. Can they finish 5th?
If Pachanga Diliman don't do their homework very well, then Archers will be in 5th spot.
Because it'll be a very good league. I'm really looking forward actually to this league because of how competitive it'll be. You've got Green Archers, Pachanga, Pasargad, all vying around that position. Whether the Air Force can bounce back, we'll discuss more about that later on anyway in the Pachanga and the UFL League episode. But for that one, you can find out the Green Archers versus Pasargad for the other semi-final, and he will reach the final against the winner between Ceres and Kaya. So check us out on @FTW Sports for more on that. We'll bring you the updates as they happen, and hopefully some more transfer news coming up. We can discuss more about that later on. So follow us at FTW Sports.